here again, and this week we're back in Portsmouth and we're here for Duke Harrison Hunter, the founder of Ambassador for Change.
I won the Football Blacklist Award. When you come from nothing, you can still achieve something. And then my mum left me and my brother with this madman under 9, 10 years of age. So we endured that. I just left home at 16 and never been on my own since then. Back then, growing up for racism, you're always looked at or you're always judged. Let's get chased along the street by national crime. One of us was murdered. Then I was on heroin, crack, I was on alcohol, basically whatever I could get my hands on. My habit became bigger and bigger, and I was doing mad things to get money. You live in two lives, basically. Your work life, what people see, and then you do your drug life that people don't see. You had 3 choices left to be fair. I think it was back in jail, in a mental institution, underground. Portsmouth saved me, basically. I've never relapsed since I've been here. And I'm 17 years in now.
Alright, so Duke.
Hello.
We're here, mate.
And thanks.
We did. And thanks for being a guest, man.
No problem. No, thanks for actually asking me after I spoke to you at the charity bash there. So I'm quite impressed. I thought, why not give it a go?
Yeah,
support you at the same time.
Thank you, man. Thank you. So I guess what we like to do on here is, I could give you a massive intro, but I'll throw it over to you. So who is Duke Harrison Hunter?
Duke Harrison Hunter is a motivational speaker. I originate from South London. Been in Portsmouth probably 17 years. And now I'm trying to build a small business by going into different schools and talking about my lived experience, serious youth violence, county lines, exploitation. Also do leadership development for teachers around PSHE, physical social health education, and also equality, diversity and inclusion. I worked at Pumping the Community for 4 seasons, linked to Portsmouth Football Club as the equality, diversity and inclusion lead. And then I moved on to Brighton Football Club in the Premier League, and then from there, due to funding reasons, a few of us got made redundant. So now I'm trying to build this small business that I have been doing over the years, but ad hoc. And it got really, really busy, and I couldn't do it at the same time as working full time. So now that I've got the space to do that, and that's what I'm trying to do at the moment, is just to reach out to schools, colleges, any corporate organisations who want to hear me talk, basically.
Amazing. Cool. Alright, so you said you grew up in South London.
Yeah.
Whereabouts in South London?
That's a great question, Alex, because I moved around a lot. So I was brought up Woolwich, Plumstead area, South East 18, and then I kind of migrated to Greenwich, and then from Greenwich I went on to Camberwell, Peckham, Brixton, and then ended up in Lewisham. Moved around a lot.
Yeah, and what kind of years was you in London then? What kind of years was you growing up in London?
Well, I was born in Greenwich, so I am 61 years of age, and I only left London 17 years ago.
Okay.
I was about in my 40s, 44, something like that.
Okay, so you said you moved around a lot. Was school in one place or was school scattered?
Oh, primary school was in one place until I left home at 16.
Okay.
And then secondary school was in one place. Then I left home after secondary school.
Interesting. So what?
Does that make sense?
Kind of. I mean, what do you mean by you left home?
So I was subjected to a lot of domestic violence. My brother and I, we saw a lot of domestic violence in the house. And then my mum, who basically was just trying to work to put food on the table, and my dad was a very jealous guy, following her around. And my mum was a trainee nurse at the time, and came over from Jamaica to sort of be a career nurse. And my dad got really, really jealous, and he thought she was seeing someone else and all that kind of madness. And he used to come home drunk, they used to fight, and my brother and I would be sitting in our bedrooms thinking, oh my God, and there was nothing we could do. So after my mum left, I think I was 9, came home from school to a note on my bed saying that she couldn't take any more, which is fair enough now, but at the time I was massively resentful because that was my mum. And then my mum left me and my brother with this madman, and the 9, 10 years of age. So we endured that. Well, I endured that for another 6 years, maybe 5, 6 years, and then I ran away from home. He was physically abusing us. There was no type of love coming from my dad. He was a very scary man. Didn't know how to show his love. Any issue, we don't talk about it. He just beats us. And I got to speak to him not too long ago, a few years ago, and that was his reason for showing us how he loved us. I'm like, really? Because he didn't have the skills, the coping mechanisms or skills, even to put his arm around us and say it's going to be all right, it's going to be fine. He was just stressed with his work. He was a building property developer, going out raving and getting nutted when he comes home, and he was totally stressed the whole time. So coming home and dealing with 2 boys on his own wasn't his thing. So we basically grew up on fear.
Right.
And I just left home at 16 and never been on my own since then.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't mind me asking, did you ever keep contact with your mum?
With my mum? I didn't know where she was for about 23 years.
Wow.
And then one day I just got a... Well, actually, what happened? It was 23 years later, and I'm in a supermarket in Brixton. And I saw one of my cousins. She goes, "Oh, yeah, do you like Duke? I don't know, right, Mish, blah, blah, blah." She goes, "Your mum wants to speak to you." I went, "Excuse me?" She went, "Your mum wants to speak to you." I went, "Shut up, don't be stupid." In my head, I thought my mum was already dead, gone, disappeared, whatever. I went, "Yeah, don't say stuff like that. It's not funny." She went, No. It's true, look." And she gave me a phone number out of her pocket. So, yeah, whatever. So I just took the phone number, just put it in my pocket anyway. So I didn't believe her. And it was about 2 or 3 days later that I actually got the phone number and started thinking about it. So I did miss my mum. I thought, let me call the number. I called the number and she answered the phone. I just broke down. Just totally broke down. And then we've been building a relationship ever since.
Wow.
My mum now is like my sister.
Really?
Yeah, we have so much fun. She's so funny. It's all even though she's my mum, and I know my mum loves me and I love my mum, but our relationship is like brother and sister.
Crazy.
And it's because I never had that nurturing from the age of 9 up until when I saw her when I was in my 20s or something like that.
Really?
20, yeah.
Wow. What was it like when you actually met up again?
I had to travel to Yorkshire. My mum lives in North Yorkshire, and I went with my brother. My brother now is a different bowl of gravy. Now he was resentful, and he carried that resentment for years for my mum leaving us.
Okay.
He was just angry. So we both went up there. My mum had remarried to a guy called Christopher, who was an ex-RAF fighter pilot. He taught King Charles how to fly. He was right up there. He's right up there. He's retired now. So we went to the house, and I think because my brother saw my mum with a white guy, that was a first no-no. Second no-no was like, he'd never been out of the estate that he lived on for years, and going to Yorkshire was alien to him. And we bought a ticket for the weekend, and he moaned so much he just wanted to go home the next day. We had to buy another ticket to send him home the next day.
Really?
And since that day he's had a resentment with my mum. So my mum's been trying to build bridges for years and years and years, but he doesn't seem to be coming forward. He still carries that massive resentment with her. You know, so yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah, that is a tough one.
Yeah,
I mean, was you the oldest or?
I'm the oldest, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, only by 1 year.
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
So, when you was growing up in that sort of abusive household, and you left, did you ever? You said you spoke to your dad again, but did you not talk to him for years, or?
Didn't talk to him for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, hated the guy. Want nothing to do with him. Yeah. Let him crack on. His mentality is just. Even today, his mentality is really strange, Alex. It's just there is no room for progression or growth with my dad. He's the same person he was when he was 19. My dad's in his 80s now. Same thinking. You know, he lives in the mountains in Jamaica, and some of the furniture he has in his house he's probably had 30 years, 40 years. So he's almost stuck in a time warp, stuck in the 80s. In a mountain in Jamaica.
Wow.
He doesn't use internet really, doesn't use smartphones. He goes everywhere, doesn't email, nothing, text, nothing. Strange. And he doesn't forget a thing.
No.
He's always berating me for stuff that I've done when I was 16, when I was 15, when I was 14.
Mad.
Just can't get past it. That old thinking. He can't see the fact that I've grown up to be this person and I'm doing what I'm doing. I try to say, look at the stuff that I'm doing great, you know what I mean, blah, blah, blah. Can't see it, can't see the growth.
Crazy.
Still thinks I'm that young boy still.
So when you were, I guess from 9 to 16, obviously this abuse happened at home. How was you outside of the home?
Outside of the home, I was quite vulnerable, easy to persuade, didn't want to go home, didn't like where I lived. Even though we had a decent house in Plumstead at the time, I was just out gangbanging with my friends in the park, getting chased by National Front and racists and all of that kind of stuff, fighting all the time. And my friends were my family. Everybody I knew at the time, I still know a few today who are still alive, were my family. Then I would have to come home. And as soon as I knew I had to come home, my whole body language would change. Just fear. If I'm not 5 minutes late, or if I haven't washed up, or if I haven't done this, it would just beat us. Yeah, so that's why I ended up, and your friends become your gang. You know, so a lot of people would see a group of young people and just call them a gang. But they're not, they're just good mates. Having a laugh or having a kick about. But you're gangs.
Yeah.
And that's where it's come from. So
that's interesting. So, okay. When you reached 16, you said you left home. How was school then for you? Was it...
I was bright in school. I'd like to say I was pretty clever in school. I was in the top. Back then it was first year, second year, third year, right? Fourth year, fifth year, and if you stayed on for sixth form. So first year, second year, third year, I was in the top classes. Fourth year, started banging head with all these idiots now. My grades started to come down. Fifth year, I was coming down again. And I just about scraped through school. In my fifth year, just about. And my dad was on us the whole time. And it's because purely didn't want to go home. I quite liked going to school because I wasn't at home.
Yeah.
Even though we had lots of fights at school down to racism, and back in the 70s and the 80s, racism was rife.
Yeah.
You know, it was top shelf racism back in the 70s and 80s. So we was always fighting, and that's how my grades started to sort of get really, really, really low. So I wasn't paying no mind to it. But the first 3 years, I was top class.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I just want to touch on that as well. What was racism like for you as a teen and growing up?
Back then, growing up for racism, well, if I start with my family first, if you're of colour, living in a predominantly white area where we lived, you're always looked at, or you're always judged. You're always second best. Step into a shop. Yes, can I help you? You're not even got 2 yards into the shop. You go, yes, can I help you? Because I think you're of colour, you're going to nick something. So we went through that. We're getting shouts from people in their cars, calling us the N-word. My girlfriend was white at the time, and she used to get lots of abuse because she was with me. If you made a mistake at work, you were the first one sacked. So my mum and my dad at that point were just trying to keep a roof over our heads. And back then, they were going through anxiety and stress, but there was no name for anxiety back then. It was just fear of losing what they've come over to this country to build. Forgetting that the Windrush generation basically built this country, doing jobs other people didn't want to do. Do you know what I mean?
True.
But yet we were ridiculed for that. You've come over here and taken our jobs. No. We didn't come and take your jobs. The jobs have been there the whole time. You just chose not to take them.
Yeah.
So you've had to have a generation come over from the Caribbean during the war or after the war to rebuild the country. But we still got ridiculed for it for years. We used to get chased along the street by National Front regularly until it got to a point where one of us was murdered in an incident in Woolwich. Yeah.
What happened there then?
If you go online, you'll find it online. It was just we used to get chased regularly by these white racists, right? So of an evening, say like a Saturday night, we would go to the cinema and go and watch a martial arts movie. And then at the same time, you'd have the Blackheath fun fair or circus or whatever it might be. And they're the perfect opportunities to have big gang fights. So you get a group of skinheads, group of blacks and Asians coming together to fight. So we didn't go this weekend. We just went to the cinema, watched some Jackie Chan and some Bruce Lee and that, because we were all kung fu heads coming out thinking up their black belts after the show. So we're outside the cinema, and all of a sudden we can hear this noise, and we're thinking, what's that? So it's like a chanting noise. I think, that's strange. After about 5 minutes, we turned around, and we must have seen about 50 or 60 skinheads with bats and sticks and bars coming for us at the cinema. And obviously they've come for us. We've all scattered because we were outnumbered, properly outnumbered. Yeah. A friend of mine was, he jumped under a lorry. I jumped into a bush and I can hear the skinhead going, "I know you in there, N-word. I know you in there, N-word." And I'm like, "I know you're in there." I'm like, dodging the stick. Because if he'd have caught me, he'd have killed me. They'd have battered me. However, the guy who went under the lorry didn't realise the lorry owner was with us. So the lorry owner's jumped in the lorry, driven off. He's exposed. He jumped in and just smashed the life out of him. So there was retaliation for that. So we retaliated the following week in Woolwich Market, I think it was. And one of our friends got trapped in between a car. And we were skinheads, and the skinheads stabbed him. And he died, yeah. Wow. That's how mad it got. Couldn't walk the streets on your own. That's why we had to walk around in gangs and groups, because you just don't know at any one point a car could just pull up beside you and 4 people just jump out. Then it's off. Crazy. So we were constantly like this.
Yeah,
constantly. Yeah. Even at school, some of the people who were jumping in cars were going to our school. Or related to some of the people who were jumping out in cars.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was non-stop. It was tough.
Imagine.
Let me believe you, on buses, everywhere you went. If you went shopping or went out with your girlfriend, you got it in the neck. Yeah. So you had to fight. Yeah. Because talking didn't work.
Wow. I can imagine that must have been tough. So, I mean, imagine, so you're 16 now. You've left home. Where did you go?
That's another story. So I met a friend, I left home, and I went and to live with his mum.
Okay.
Now, you're going to find this strange. His mum was 35 at the time. I was 16. Yeah? Went out of her for 7 years. She had 4 kids. 2 were younger, 1 was the same age as me, and 1 was older. And I lived in my friend's mum's house going out with his mum, but he didn't mind.
Wow.
Nowadays, I'm not sure what you'd call her nowadays.
Yeah.
Back then it was called Toy Boy. I was a toy boy back then. Yeah.
That's different.
You're not wrong. That was different. It's hard work. After about 4 or 5 years, I didn't seem to age, but she did.
Okay.
So every time I stepped out of the house on my own, she would automatically think that I'm going to meet another woman. That's how it got, and it just got messy. She was an alcoholic. I was using drugs at the time. We were always fighting. I was using with her son. You know, we were going out doing street robberies and all this kind of madness. Yeah, it was messy, proper messy.
No, but you didn't take on like a father role then, or
No,
just took on
no,
that
no. I
type
was
of
I
role?
was a nutty 16-year-old, just
Okay.
full of. Ah,
Mm, mm.
do you know what I mean? And I don't know. I think I was carrying trauma. I think I was carrying abandonment issues. I was carrying resentment, but did not realise, Alec.
Mm.
But I was carrying all of this stuff, and Dad didn't want me. No role model. Didn't know where my brother was. Didn't see my brother. So I was just totally on my own.
Mm.
So I could do what I want, basically. But I was full of these feelings,
Yeah.
but not realising at the time until later on in life.
So you said 4 years you was with in that situation.
What with my friend's mum?
Mm.
7.
7.
Yeah.
So 7 years, 23.
Mm.
You come out. So I'm guessing through that time, yeah, you said that there, like you've been sort of letting out all your emotions with your actions, really. So 23 hits. Was you working that time? Was you just about that sort of road life?
I was about the road life.
Mm.
Yeah, I was a street robber.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? I don't think I can't remember, to be honest, because of drug abuse. You know, like sometimes your long-term memory, you can't think of a lot of things. And I think I was working. Yes, I was working. I was working.
Yeah.
I was training to be a youth worker. I was doing my youth work and social work diploma
Okay.
at the age of 16.
Okay.
And I trained for 4 years and got my diploma as 20. And then that's right, I done bits and bobs of part-time youth work.
Mm.
Yeah. So how I got the youth work, I used to do martial arts a long time ago, and I was bringing a friend to our house, and I was training him in their flat, and my girlfriend at the time was saying, "Oh no, you can't be bringing him into the house." So he said, "Oh, there's a youth club around the corner." So I went round to the youth club and asked if they had a space, and she went, "Yeah." And then from that day, her name's Mina Temple.
Mm.
I'll always have time for this lady. She saw something in me and said to me, "Duke, would you like to come and do some like volunteering for us at the youth club?" I was like, yeah, of course. So I've done that. No drama, just got on with it naturally.
Mm.
After about a few months, he said to me, "Look, there's a part-time role going here. I'd like you to apply for it." I was like, okay. Just applied for it, went through the interview, got the role, then I trained properly within the London Education Authority, and then became a fully trained youth worker.
Wow.
And I think from there, when it comes to my career, my life changed from there. If it wasn't for that lady, Mina Temple, who saw something in me that I couldn't see.
Yeah.
Mm.
So if it wasn't for me in Temple, who knows?
Yeah.
So from that point on, you sort of got into youth work.
Mm-hmm.
So you've always been knocking around youth work
Mm-hmm.
while you're doing all this stuff. That must have been different. That must have been interesting as well, because at night time you're a bank robber or whatever you're robbing,
Yeah.
and in the daytime you're helping out kids.
In the night time, because it got to a point where I was quite hypocritical, Alex. Alec. It got to a point where I was taking drugs, going to work as a youth worker, telling young people not to take drugs, but yet I was going to work high as a kite. And I'd done that for years. I was very hypocritical when it came to the drug. I was very good at my job, but when it came to the drug side of things, I was hypocritical because I was taking drugs. And I think there was a program at that time called Zemo. Can't remember the name of it. It'll come to me in a second. And their slogan was "Just say no to drugs." So we used that slogan at work and in the youth centre. But yeah, I was coming into work totally smashed.
What kind of drugs was you on then?
And then I was on heroin. I was on crack. I was on alcohol. Basically, whatever I could get my hands on.
Really?
I would take, yeah. But the main drug of choice was heroin, which was introduced to me by the friend I went to go and live with. So him and I were tight users, basically.
Okay. And you was using that until for about 7 years, or?
Well, heroin, I used it for a long time. I used it up until I was in my 40s.
Okay. Did it always numb it for you? Did that actually help?
Yeah.
Well, not help, but like, did it numb the thoughts and all that sort of dark side?
So I think, to be honest, I was going through a point in my life where I was scared of responsibility. Everybody was doing everything for me. So I had no life skills, really. And I was scared of responsibility. So every time I took drugs, it kind of took that feeling away. And I just go, oh yeah. But when you start to come round or you start to withdraw or come down, it brings it all back up again. You all don't like that feeling. Oh, I've got to get responsible, I've got to do this. And then after a while, my habit became bigger and bigger. And I was doing mad things to get money, you know, robbing and stealing everywhere. But it became almost like my emotional blanket.
Okay.
No other drug gave me that feeling. No other drug gave me that kind of contentment when I took heroin. And that's why it's such a big issue nowadays, because you don't just become a drug addict. It's the issues that you have before that makes you the drug addict. It's coping with the issues like my trauma and my abandonment and my resentment. That's why I was taking drugs. Not because I just wanted to take drugs to be a drug addict. No. I was going through all of this stuff, not knowing how to cope, not knowing how to deal with it, not knowing who to speak to, didn't really know people that I could trust, whether they're going to talk about business. So this was like my comfort blanket. Take this and I feel all right.
Wow.
And I've done that for years and years and years.
Wow.
Wow.
So when you were 23 and you separated from this woman, where did you go after that then?
Great question. Where did I go after that? I think I moved in with somebody. I think I went into detox.
Okay.
I went into detox. No, I met somebody else. I'd met somebody else. Sofa surfed at her place. It's just like a fleeting relationship for a few years. And then I got my own flat when I was 27. So I met somebody else because the relationship with the previous girlfriend just totally broke down. We had a big fight. And then one day I came home and she moved out. Me thinking everything was fine, I came back to the flat, Alec, and it was empty.
Everything gone?
Everything gone, just my stuff was left. Wow. And a knocked over plant. Now, in order for that to work, there must have been some going-ons before, some arranging and organising. You can't just move out in the one day. Yeah? I wasn't out long, a few hours, came back, the flat was empty.
Wow.
Gone. So I had to leave there. I think I just stayed in friends' flats locally for a few months, and then I met someone and I stayed with her. So I sofa surfed for a long time until I was about 27.
Wow.
Until I got my own flat.
Okay, and then when you got your own flat, that's when everything sort of changed? Or?
Well, it changed in the sense where I had my own place. That was the first time I've ever had my own place. I had a girlfriend at the time, but my habit was still big. I had a job. I was working for a betting office. Good job. I messed that up. Wasn't paying my rent because I was using. Met this girl. I was with her. Driving dodgy cars. I was just doing madness. I ended up getting evicted from my flat for non-payment of rent.
Okay.
Woke me up one morning, bang on the door. Sheriffs or whatever it was. 3 of them in the council. Yeah, grab your stuff. You're out of here. Oh, excuse me? You're like, what? Oh, I'm trying to wake up. Like, what? Yeah, non-payment of rent for... Yeah, just grab whatever you can and you're out.
Wow.
So I had to grab a bin. I didn't even know what I was packing. Yeah, kicked me out, changed your locks, boom, that was it.
How did that make you feel?
I felt stupid because I could have paid my rent, but I chose drugs instead. I felt really stupid. But when you're living a chaotic, you live in 2 lives basically. Your work life, what people see, and then you do your drug life that people don't see, or you don't want them to see, or you don't want them to know. And then it just came on top. So I ended up staying at my girlfriend's mum's house at the time.
Okay.
After that, I didn't go out with her mum.
Wow.
I didn't go out with her mum.
No, okay. So you got your own place, obviously. So yeah, you've gone to live with the mum. You're still doing youth work at this point, or is it just
No,
you just
I
work
was
in the betting office?
Yeah, I was just doing the betting office then. Yeah.
So what brought you back to youth work then? When did? Because is this still in London?
This is still in London. Yeah.
Okay, this is still in London.
Yeah.
So because you're in Portsmouth now.
Yeah.
So I guess how did the youth work and how did you get down to Portsmouth is the kind of next thing I'm interested in.
Right. So after the relationship broke down with my current girlfriend, because I was living in her mum's house, who couldn't understand the relationship. I was black and she was white, and mum couldn't understand it. Old East End woman. She had to use one of those machines to breathe because she had serious COPD.
Okay.
But she couldn't understand the black and the white thing. She was quite, I wouldn't say she was racist, she just didn't understand it. So if she saw a black person on the TV, they'd automatically have to be a robber.
Okay.
In her head. So it took me quite a long time in order for my girlfriend at the time to introduce me to her mum. Met her mum, and she said to me, "Is it true that black people eat rice and peas and chicken?" And I went, "Yeah, but I think everybody eats rice and peas and chicken." She was that, like she was that.
Wow.
Is it true that you can get a suntan in the sun? Because you don't need to get a red tan, do you? I said, yeah, it's true that we can get a suntan in the sun. So in the death, I just got my CV because I had a good CV, and I just left it on the kitchen table for her to read, to see that I'm not a monkey. I'm not just got off the boat. You know what I mean? I'm an educated man. And after about 6 or 7 months, she grew to like me. And then we had a brilliant relationship after that. She would take me out to the cafe in Sydenham and go, "Oh, this is my daughter's boyfriend, this is Duke." She'd let me drive her car. We had a brilliant relationship after about 6 or 7 months of her getting to know me, to change her thinking. So I went into detox in London, but I think I'd left, the relationship had broken down. I'd left to go and live in a house. I was working in a pub called Dirty South in Lee High Road in Lewisham. Yeah, and I was serving drugs in there. Have you heard of a group called Alabama 3?
No.
Well, they're the group who wrote the theme tune to The Sopranos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah? So Alabama 3 used to come to the pub, and I used to use with the whole band. We used to get absolutely nutted. And they'd come and do their set. And then they'd stay in the pub because I was running the pub, shut the door, and we'd just get absolutely mangled till about 5 o'clock the next morning, fall out. Luckily, I only lived not too far. Come back in a few hours, clean the pub, Then the habit just got worse and worse and worse and worse. My girlfriend had then bought a flat off my dad, which is around the corner from the pub, and we lived together there. Again, my relationship got messy down to drugs. I was selling everything and she was working. I don't blame her for, we had a big fight and I got arrested for fighting with her for beating her up, because we went out one Christmas and I was half cut before I left the house. Tenant Super, the lager in the blue can.
Okay.
It's like 9%, it's super strong. I had like 3 of them, heroin, and some weed before I left the house. That's how big my habit was. We've gone out, and my girlfriend was drinking scotch. Now she gets mental on scotch. Like, you need to change your drink, because every time she has 2 of scotch, she's just like, like that. Oh my God. Anyway, we left, because she was falling all over the place. I was mangled, got in the car, said, "Oh, I forgot my coat," and for some reason I lost it. We had a big fight when I got to the flat, and I got arrested for common assault. So from there, came back out, done the first detox, which is 2 weeks rapid detox. So you basically go there and you have to go there withdrawing off of all the drugs. You can't go there buzzing. You go to a hospital, they check you out, make sure you've got no drugs in your system. If you have, they send you back home. So got through, you do a 2-week rapid detox. So they use methadone, which is like a heroin substitute. So you drink that, it's a bit like cough mixture. But there's a placebo, so they give you 50 mils every day, but there might be only 40 mils in it of methadone.
Okay.
The next day you get 50 mils, but there might be only 30 mils of actual methadone in there. But the amount of liquid is the same.
Okay. So it's that placebo, yeah.
Yeah. And then I think on the last day, you'll get 50 mils, and there's probably no methadone in it.
Okay.
But you still think
Yeah.
there's methadone in it. Yeah, so I put on loads of weight, I come out, within 2 weeks, I was using it again. So I've gone back to the same flat.
Okay.
The same surroundings, same people, boom.
Yeah.
So I've done that 3 or 4 times, and it was on the 4th time that the guy said to me, look, we can't keep doing this to you, because as soon as you leave, so I had no care plan for when I left. It was just, oh, thanks, only 2 weeks, bye. You're like, okay, right, back to the same old stuff. So you need to go for treatment.
Okay.
I went, yeah, I was broken by then. Said, I'll do treatment. I said, where do you want to go? I said, I'll go anywhere. He went, Bournemouth? I went, no. I went, why not? I went, I know too many London bods in Bournemouth. It's a trigger for me. And there's a big recovery in Bournemouth. A lot of London people are down there and living and recovering and doing really, really well. He went, Portsmouth? I went, yeah, sweet, I'll go Portsmouth. If he'd have said Liverpool next, I'd have gone, yeah, I'll go Liverpool.
Yeah. Just.
He just went Portsmouth. I went, yeah, sweet, I'll go Portsmouth. So I got picked up. So they don't let you go home first. They contact Portsmouth, the treatment centre at Portsmouth, to come get you.
Okay. So you're in the
I'm in London.
Okay.
Get a ticket to get on a train. And as soon as I stepped out, to be honest, my head was all over the place. I was like, do I go and use? I thought, nah, you can't. Got on the train, got to Portsmouth, and a support worker picked me up from there, and that was it. So I've done 6 months of treatment.
Wow. So that must have been a massive decision in that split moment as you come out that door. You could have just walked left instead of right.
Yeah, I only had 3 choices left to be fair, Alec. It was back in jail, in a mental institution, or under the ground, like buried, dead. I only had those 3 choices left. And I knew deep down I'm a clever, bright man, and I knew I had to do something. Got things to live for, and I thought I just had to grind it out. Get to the station, grind it out, like fighting with myself. Because all I wanted to do was use. That's all I knew. And I got there, done the treatment. Yeah, didn't relapse. I've never relapsed since I've been here.
No.
And I'm 17 years in now.
Wow. So how was that cold turkey, if you will?
It's the worst pain you'll ever go through. Honestly, I wouldn't wish that on my enemy. It's like, have you ever had a cold? Then you have pneumonia. It's like having pneumonia on a different level. So you wake up, you're sweating, you're weak, your bones are hurting, you're cold, you're sneezing, you're crying because you're so busted. You can't sleep. And all they do is give you the methadone. That kind of holds you for a minute, but you're not used to the sweating and the non-sleeping, and your head's out there thinking, oh, all I need is a little bit of thing to make me feel all right, and do I want to be in it? You go through all these emotions and thinking. It's horrible, absolutely horrible. And I've withdrawn on nothing a few times for about 4 days. It's like being run over by a truck. Yeah, everything just, you're weak, you don't wash because you can't be bothered, you're just crying the whole time. Yeah, it's horrible.
Wow.
It's horrible.
They say, well, I've heard that if you have like an addiction, you sort of replace it with something else.
Yeah.
Was that true for you?
Yeah, I replaced it with trainers.
Nice.
And that was only to fix my feelings. I would buy trainers for no reason. Got plenty of trainers, I hardly wear them. Walking down the street, la la la, oh, a nice pair of trainers, don't need them. Yeah, love. those please, 80 quid worth of trainers. Probably come home and don't even like it when you get home. And then my other addiction was going to the gym, because the ethos in the treatment centre was healthy mind, healthy body, all that kind of stuff, and positive affirmation. So I'm big on those. Me and a couple of the guys used to go to gym regularly, and that was our addiction, to the point where I wasn't meeting none of my friends, wasn't going out on the weekend. So I was always in the gym, and I had to slow that down.
I mean, okay. So do you think it was the removing you from that environment in London and putting you in a new environment where, did you know anyone down here when you came here?
No.
Yeah, did you think it was that, like not knowing anyone, that away from what you're used to was the big, changing factor in everything, like in your decisions? Or?
Yeah. I mean, there are guys that I know who used in London and recovered in London. I couldn't do that. I was not strong enough to do that. So I needed to be taken out and dropped into another area, relocate totally, and do the work. If I wanted to get better, I had to do the work. Even though coming to a different area felt alien, to the point of, what am I doing here? My head was in London, but my physical body was in Hampshire. What am I doing there? And for the first few years, I was battling with being drawn to London. I just wanted to go to London. So I'll give you a funny story. So I'm in treatment, and every now and again, after a few months, the director would let you go and visit somebody, say your ex-girlfriend or whatever. You can go out on your own. So he went to me, "Where would you like to go?" And I said, "I'd like to go and see my ex-girlfriend." "Where does she live?" I said, "London." He was like, "Oh." He goes, "I think you're going to use." I went, No, I'm not going to use, I'm not going to use. He goes, "Dude, I think you're going to use." I was like, "No." I was getting angry with him now. He said, "No, I'm not going to use. I just want to see my girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend." He said, "Do you know what? I'd have respected you more, Duke, if you'd have said to me, maybe I might use." I went, "All right, maybe I might use." He went, "You're still not going." And I was so mad. But the following week, he let me go, right? So I'm on the train going down towards London, and I think Pompey were away playing somewhere, and the train was full of supporters, 10 o'clock in the morning, drinking beer.
Yeah.
Mate. So I'm on the train, got the supporters going, hey. I'm just looking at the window, thinking, I could do one of those beers right now. And if going through my head is the director going, "Duke, you're going to relapse." If I'd have had a beer, I'd have relapsed, right? So I'm having to, all the way through, just look out the window and try and block this noise out. Got to either Waterloo or Victoria, and I thought, right, I need to go and have a cigarette. I went outside, and I was smoking, and a train guard came up to me and went, "Excuse me, you can't smoke there." And I went, "I'm outside." He went, "Yeah, but you can't smoke there." For a split second, I was thinking, "No, just go away, just leave me alone." So I went, no. All right, okay, and I moved. But before I moved, as I was looking forward, there was a bus there that would have taken me directly to the madness. And all I was doing was staring at the bus while I was smoking, because I knew where it was going to take me. I had money in my pocket. All I had to do was get on that bus and go and use. If it wasn't for this train guard who said to me, "You can't smoke there," and for me to sort of go like, "What are you talking about?" I went, all right, I moved. And as I moved to another area, I couldn't see the bus. Then after I had the cigarette, I got on my journey and got to see my ex-girlfriend.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
It was like...
that close.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then came back, didn't you? Because they test you when you come back and stuff like that.
Wow. Was the treatment centre in Portsmouth better than London, or was it?
Well, the one in London was a detox centre, so you're only there for 2 weeks at a time. But the rehab, you're there for 6 months of intensive work, counselling, affirmations, acceptance, commitment therapy, solution-focused therapies. They were really, really good. I must big them up for that. They saved me basically. You know, lots of theory work, lots of feelings, mirror affirmations. That was the hard bit.
Yeah.
When we had to do group work and you had to do mirror affirmations, you had to look in the mirror and look at yourself and say, I love myself exactly as I am. Hard. But after about 2 months of doing it, because the first time I'd done it, I was just looking in the mirror going, is that a spot I got there? That's what I was doing. And then passing it on. After 2 or 3 months, I could look in the mirror, say my affirmation, and I could see myself looking into my own eyes and see the reflection of me looking into my own eyes in the mirror. That's how deep I got. And then pass it on. Really, really worked.
Wow.
But first you're like, oh God, I didn't want to look at myself and think, oh God, look.
Yeah. So 6 months?
6 months, yeah. 3 months primary, 3 months secondary.
And would you say after them 6 months you was...
I felt better about myself. I sort of woke up and realised I had more awareness than I did the previous 6 months before that. I'd met a couple of friends during there who knew people that I knew from London, and there were a lot of people coming to this treatment centre, relapsing, being sent home. There's a lot of that, a lot of traffic, but I, myself and probably about 7 others were solid, no relapsing, no nothing, and we were all probably 17, 20 years in, you know. So we were that 1% of people that actually go through treatment and stay clean.
Crazy. So when you came out of treatment centre or rehab, what was the next step for you?
Next step for me, came out of the treatment centre, we have to live in things called dry houses.
Is that just, is it monitored or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's monitored. So you get a little bit of voluntary work, you do your volunteering, and basically you're told not to get a full-time job for the first 2 years that you've recovered.
Okay.
You know, because you're still working on yourself after coming out of treatment. A lot of people think that they're fixed. They can go and have a beer. No, it tends to relapse, back it. So we're told not to get a full-time job for 2 years, because that time you're still improving. You're doing voluntary work, you're going to group meetings, you're doing a 12-step program, you're doing all kinds of things, and slowly but surely. And after 2 years, I just got better and better and stronger. And we have a saying called "stick with the winners." So if I know you are 10 years in, 15 years in, I'm sticking with you, Alec, because you're 15 years in, and that's no easy fate. You know, stick with the winners, because my guy's got it. He must be doing something right, and I want a bit of that. And that's what we've done.
Okay.
Yeah, I just kept on doing voluntary work, got a part-time role, done a little bit of more. I had to retrain as a youth worker, because the qualification I'd got I couldn't find. It was with the Greater London Council and Inner London Education Authority, and I think the GLC was abolished by then, so I couldn't track my qualification down, I couldn't find it. So I retrained and got another qualification.
Wow, so that led you down, I guess, with Pompey and then on. Interesting. So is it a constant battle every day once you come out of rehab? Because you said you stick with the winners, but is it a constant battle, you think? Like, for example, do you drink now?
No.
So you don't drink at all? No. So it is that constant battle, because if you feel like, my question is, if you do have a drink, would you go back, or would it be a fall, or could you enjoy that drink as a drink?
No. If you'd have asked me that in my first 2 years of recovery, I'd have probably had a drink. But because you have to be around winners. You can't do this on your own. You have to reach out to people. If you're feeling a little bit low, a little bit vulnerable, we're told to pick the phone up and speak to somebody, have a coffee with somebody, you know, speak to one, get it out of your system. Don't sit in your head, because your head will tell you all negative stuff. It'll be right, yeah, it's alright, you can go and have a drink, we'll be fine. So I've done a lot of that. And I have a lot to lose. I've done all of this work, and for me to go and have a drink now, I'd be gone, I'd be off. Quick story, gone to a football match at Porchester, and with one of the trustees, right? And she's got a bottle of is it Corona?
Yeah.
Where you put the lemon lime thing in the top.
Yeah.
And I've got a bottle of J2O. So the bottles are very similar. So she's gone to me, oh Duke, would you just hold my drink while I go to the toilet? I went, yeah, no problem. She's gone to the toilet, I went, bosh. I drank her beer, thinking it was mine. And I just spat it out. I was like, didn't like the taste of it. And for days, I was like, oh my God, was that a relapse? Did I relapse? I was in my head. Oh my God, do I need to own it to people? Because I had a sip of beer and I was like that.
Wow.
And after a while, after speaking to somebody, goes, no, it's just a minor lapse, a mistake. Yeah, it's so powerful. So, no, it's a choice now. If I want to go and have a drink, I can. But I just choose not to.
Yeah.
No point. I've got better things to spend my money on than
drink.
Personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not against people who drink, but for me, it's a proper no. I can't be doing it because I know where it's going to take me.
Interesting. So with priorities, I guess through that phase, it was all about the drugs, getting your fix. Where do your priorities lie now?
My priorities lie now is with me staying clean on a daily basis, making sure my daughter's okay, and looking after myself. So I'll look after myself first, because if I don't look after myself first, I'm no good to my daughter. You know, my daughter relies heavily on me for emotional guidance. I don't see her that much, but I know once we're on the phone and she has an issue, we can talk for hours. And she likes that emotional guidance side of her dad, because I'm a good listener when it comes to my daughter. My mum's a bit of a reactor. But if my daughter's got an issue, she'll tell me, because I've instilled 3 things in her. To be honest to your dad, to communicate with your dad, and to respect your dad. That's it. Do whatever you want after that, and you'll get the same from me. I'll communicate, I'm respectful to you, and I'll be honest to you. She does it. It just makes life so easy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
When did you become a dad then? Because didn't.
I became a dad. My daughter was 32 now.
Wow.
And I'm a granddad also as well. She just had a little boy. Mateo, he's 4 months.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, nice, thank you.
How did that change everything for you as well, becoming a father? Did that sort of change your priorities?
That was tough. That was tough because I was, at the time, I was using. I was using with her mum when I lived in Plumstead, to the point where our addictions got out of control. Her mum my girlfriend's mum sent her a ticket to go live with her brother in Miami. And then she went, to cut a long story short, she went. I followed her probably 6 months later. Now at the time she used to be Miss Northern Ireland. Beautiful, 6-foot woman, absolute stunner. Everywhere we went, she was just turning heads, yeah? To the point where I got a little bit uncomfortable. You know them ones? You know, everyone's just nutting my girlfriend. Like, oh, it can be a bit. And she was confident with it as well. She knows men are looking at her all day long. And then plus, she would use it against me. If we had an argument, would use it against me.
That's funny.
But anyway, I then met her in America. She was a lingerie model in America, making bundles of money. Everybody wanted to marry her. She's Northern Irish, had a lovely accent. But I was unemployed at the time, overstayed my welcome in the States, and then she fell pregnant. And I went to jail in the States as well. She fell pregnant. We had a big fight. She came back to Northern Ireland, had the baby, had Tasha. 3 or 4 months later, I saw Tasha. Next time I saw her, she was 6.
Wow.
Next time I saw her, she was nearly 17.
Wow.
So I've only really had my daughter back in my life since she was about 17. I had to go to Spain at the time where they were living and bring her back.
Wow.
Yeah. but she's grown up into this beautiful, intelligent, bright woman. And she had her issues growing up in Northern Ireland, being the only mixed heritage young person in her village, in her school, everywhere you go in Belfast, Northern Ireland. She was the only one of colour.
Wow.
Yeah, got seriously bullied and yeah, so yeah.
Interesting. I mean, I just want to touch on that briefly though. How did you get arrested in America?
Why did I know you was going to ask me that? That's okay. You want to hear the story? Yeah. So, in America, we lived in this apartment, swimming pool, nice weather, blah blah blah. Girlfriend at the time was a lingerie model. I needed to get a job because I was just sitting there and doing nothing. And after so many months of doing nothing, it's boring. So anyway, and I was using crack at the time in America with some dodgy people. That's another story. So anyway, need to get a job. Looked for this job, found this job, warehouse person for a big supermarket chain, right? Gone for the interview. Now before I went to the interview, I needed ID, which I didn't have. So I've gone to my neighbour and said, look, have you got any ID I could use? And he went, yeah. So he's given me this ID. Now this guy doesn't look nothing like me, really. If you looked at it, he went, nah, that's not you. Big moustache, right? So anyway, I got it. Went for the interview, and the lady just took the ID, almost like in robotic fashion. Yeah, thank you very much, photocopy. Boom, 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 yeah, there you go. See you on Monday. I was like, okay. I got the job. Thinking someone was going to tap me on the shoulder as soon as I walked out the building, but no one did. So the job was, you know, you have like the Amazon factories where they have the big conveyor with belts and yeah. And you got all the stuff coming down. So basically, I was the accounts man. Stuff coming off the whatever you call them. You put them on the pallet, stack the pallet, wrap the pallet with cling film. Forklift comes along, puts it on the lorry, check them in. I was doing that all day long. So anyway, this day, my girlfriend would normally pick me up, plus the work, they're quite segregated in their workplaces as well. Black people sit on that side, white people sit on that side, Hispanics. Really, really mad. I couldn't get my head around that. So I would talk to anyone. Called my girlfriend to come pick me up, no answer. I kept trying, no answer. I thought, you know what, I'm going to walk. Now you don't walk in Florida, that's too big. Everybody drives, right? I'm walking, I've been wearing a weightlifter's belt, like a Velcro to support my back, because I was doing heavy lifting that day. I've got it on and it's black. It's 90 degrees outside. Gotta walk. I just look so stupid walking because everyone drives, right? So I'm walking for about 10 minutes. I decide to take the Velcro belt off. I've wrapped it up and it's black. It's about that big. I've got it in my hand. Walking down the road, all I've heard is like, wow, wow. I thought, oh, Bill, police. You make one more move, N-word, yeah? And I'll drop you where you stand. I was like, whoa, like, what's going on, what? He went, drop it. I went and dropped it. So someone had called the police, saying there was this guy walking around with a concealed weapon, because it was black. Yeah? Like I'm just going to walk around the street just carrying a gun. Anyway, so their officers are scary, let me tell you, they are super scary. Goes, right, N-word, show me your ID. I go, whoa. So I've got my ID and I'm thinking, oh my God, this is so not me. The ID, this is not me. So I've given it to him, he's checked it out. The guy's name's William Mosey, right? So I'm going under William Mosey. So he's checked out the ID. He's gone, it says on here you were born in Hollywood. I was like, yeah. Well, how comes you have an English accent? And I had to think quick. Well, I was born in Hollywood, lived in England, the UK for 30 odd years, and I've just come back, blah, blah, blah. Checked it again. This guy is wanted for a cocaine fleeing charge for the Bahamas.
No.
I just started to trip, everything just went fuzzy. So they arrested me as him, because I'm him, aren't I?
Yeah.
You'd have thought, if we'd have checked out the ID properly,
you
could see that it wasn't me. and probably get me done for using someone else's ID. But no, you know what? We're going to nick you for fleeing charge from the Bahamas, cocaine fleeing charge. I was like, oh my God. So they cuffed me up, put me in the police car, and I'm thinking, nobody knows where I am. So I said, what's going to happen now? He went, you're going to jail. I went, excuse me? He went, you're going to jail. So I just owned it. I went, look, my name's not William Mosley, my name's Duke. I don't care, you go to jail, tell that to the judge. Like, what? So at the time, myself and my girlfriend were living in this complex owned by a gay couple from Croydon. My girlfriend is white, and I'm black. And a lot of the hotels didn't take mixed couples.
Okay.
Yeah? Didn't want to know. So in the death, we come across this apartment. Luckily, the guy was from London, Croydon, gay, but we had to live in a gay complex. Fine. So I'm calling him, because my girlfriend's not answering the phone, calling him to let her know that I'm in there, need to be bailed out. Beauty of America, you can be bailed out the same day.
Wow.
And say, right, Alec, $200 and we can bail you out. So you just call a friend and go, look, I've got $200, come bail me out. They go, yeah, pay it, and you just walk out and then go back later on. But nobody came down, right? So they locked me in this room, massive room. Must have been about 100 people in there. Let me tell you, it was the scariest thing I've ever witnessed. Some of these hombres in there were just proper killers. Like, I was frightened. So, of an evening, they would open the door, grab a mattress and throw it in the air, and you'd have to catch the mattress, drop it on the floor and sleep where you stand. Right? 3 or 4 days I was like that. So the officer's come in and he's gone, all right, Alec, it's gone over there. It's gone blah, blah, over there. It's gone Mosley, over there. I thought, sweet, it's going home. Like that. Yeah, I've had enough of this. So we're walking through the building, and as I'm walking through the building, I notice, this doesn't look like the way out. I'm like, yo. So what's going on? He said, we're going to Stockade, motherfucker. I'm like, what Stockade? He went, jail. I went, what? I said, what are we doing now then? He went, uniform change. And I just wobbled. I was tripping, wobbled, everything went bright. Thought I was going to pass out. Got in the uniform change, they put us in the bright oranges, ankle bracelets, waist bracelets, shuffling to prison. Now, I'm in this space of disbelief. I thought I was in a movie, and I kept on banging my hand, biting my hand, thinking I'm going to wake up in a minute. I'm dreaming, this is not happening. Yeah, proper vivid dream. No, didn't wake up. Got on the bus, handcuffed to a white guy, got to Stockade jail, let me out in the jail. It was billet style huts at the time. 30 blacks, 30 whites, big white line down the middle. The only person I knew was the white guy that I was chained to. So I crossed over the line and asked the white guy for a cigarette. He more or less dissed me for asking him first as a black man. Crossed over the line to go back to the black side. I think they knocked me around for about 3 days, telling me basically, you don't go over the white line onto the white side. Proper segregated. So I learnt that lesson. So for a good few months, I was like this. Yep, still here, still thinking it's a dream. Like any minute now, I'm going to wake up and I'll be in my bed, at home in the UK. So all what you see on the TV, we see the guys out in the yard and playing basketball and doing all the weights. Yeah, it's the same. Dangerous. Gone for breakfast, they were just taking my food, and I'm just like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, you can have that. So I'll just go hungry. I'll see guys getting stabbed and beaten up in there. It was mental. And there was one guy, he got 25 to life for killing his parents. And he had a big Mars bar down there, a big scar. Proper killer. I taught him how to play chess. He loved my English accent and he thought I was really funny. And that's what saved me, those 3 things. So he goes, will you teach me how to play chess? I'm like, yes, God, of course I will. Stop you killing me, do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But he had me under his ring, nobody could get near me the whole time I was with him. You know, I tried to look for him, but I couldn't remember his name when I tried to look him up online to see if he was doing a big sentence.
Really?
He basically saved me.
Wow.
Yeah, he saved me, man.
Jeez.
When the court, in between that, you've got a shuffle system in the court. The judges looked at, my girlfriend's jumped up and gone. Because I was waiting on papers to be, at the time it's faxed, waiting for papers to be faxed over from the UK to prove who I was. You know, that I wasn't William Moseley, but my girlfriend turned up, passport in hand. Yeah, his name's Duke, blah, blah, blah. Judge's taken one look at me, he's gone, black man. Saying one look at my girlfriend, beautiful white girl. We had $1,000 before this man comes out of jail. I was like, excuse me?
Mm.
Girlfriend went, didn't get deported. However, a month later, they told me to go, I could walk out. I was like, what happened there? Now, this might sound a bit strange, but my girlfriend had a lot of male friends, right? Mm. She had a police officer friend who totally loved her.
Mm-hmm. So
she's picked me up, and I sort of said, how did that work? Oh, I've got a friend in the police who kind of helped me out. My head's gone, I wonder if you slept with him to get me out. But I wasn't bothered.
Mm.
If you did, thank you, Jesus.
Mm.
Didn't bother me, the fact that if you did do that, you know? And if you turned around and said, yeah, I'd sleep with this officer, I wouldn't have been bothered one bit. Because the fear and anxiety that I was witnessing in the jail, my God, I'd rather that and then be able to come out alive. So yeah, and then she got nicked the following week. That's another story.
Crazy. Wow, Jake, that's a mad story so far, man. That's mad. I know we haven't even probably chipped away at the service. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So cool. When you was back in England, obviously you're clean, you've had your daughter, you've moved on. So you've come out of rehab, you went into youth work, and now you found yourself, I guess, here. Mm. So what is the next step for you then? What have we got to expect?
The next step for me is to... See, I'm a great believer in giving back, because Portsmouth saved me, basically. Mm. The football club, pumping the community, saved me. Mm. I think it was Claire Martin, who was the CEO there, gave me, because when I was made redundant from, I ran my own big mentoring program, and the organisation went into receivership, so I got made redundant from there. Mm. And then Claire Martin took me on a few months after. It totally saved me. And that's how I became EDI, Equality, Diversity and Inclusion Lead for Pompey, and built a lot of networks. Met a lot of people in the community, diverse communities, something that I didn't think I would be doing. Mm. But it's given me that platform in order for me to grow, and I've met so many bright, successful educators and really, really good people like yourself. I mean, I've known of you for a little while, but I've not actually spoken to you that much. And then, and this is where it can bring you. So I've got a lot to thank Portsmouth for. So at the moment, I'm trying to build my business as ambassador for change. That's what I'm trying to do, is get back into the schools and give that message of hope and resilience, and try and guide young people. I mean, it's easy for young people to go out and make mistakes because a lot of the time they have nothing to do. So seeking some little bit of excitement and some fun, because that's what they do, can then lead into getting yourself in trouble because they're idle when they're bored. So I'm trying to give them a message of like education, be the hardest working person in the classroom, because that's what's gonna give you that springboard to your next chapter of your journey. Now, I'll always say in my delivery presentations, if you're a clown, like I was in school, check your first two mates. They're going to be clowns as well. But if you're a hard worker, your first two mates are going to be hard workers. Now, if you're a clown, go and buy a red nose and some red shoes and go and join a circus. And I tell you now, there's not many of them out there, so you will struggle. So I would suggest, knuckle down. If you need the support and help, ask the teachers or the professionals. They're not your enemies, they're your second family. You leave your house to go to school. The teachers are your second family, but yet some of you choose to disrespect them. And then blame them because you didn't come out with a qualification. You can't blame them, they're trying. You're the one who's not coming into school. You're the one who's doing antisocial behaviour, thinking it's smart and clever. 5 years down the line, you're seeing your sneaky friends who used to bully and take the mickey out of because they used to do their homework, driving past you in their whip, going beep beep, you alright? Just put a deposit down on a house. What are you doing? Running on the road in your man bag in your scooter.
Yeah.
Yeah? So say to the young people, what's the difference between a gangbanger and a gangster? I don't know. Gangsters you don't see. You only feel them when the time comes. You gangbangers see you all the time. With your hoodie up on your scooter and your man bag with nothing in it. And your 25p can of energy drink. Yeah? See you. Gangsters you don't, gangsters walk past you in the street, you wouldn't even know. Till the time comes for your door to come off. So they're out there thinking that they're gangbangers, and I said, no, we see you, everybody sees you. We all see you, bro. One quick story, yeah? There's a lad. He come onto my program. I was running a big mentoring one-to-one program, which I developed myself. He's come in with his mum, social worker and a police officer. He's on the table like this, right? Hood up. He's 14. Mum's can't take no more. So mum's gone to me, Duke, sorry about his behaviour. He's just sitting there, just not engaging at all. I mean, it's fine. So I thought I'd use a bit of reverse psychology. I mean, it's cool, mum, no worries. I've got plenty of young people who are dying to come onto my programme. I've got a queue of referrals. So by him not engaging, it's not a thing. I said, don't watch anything, mum. Don't watch that. Not bothered, no skin off my nose. If he doesn't want to join us, up to him. He can leave if he wants to. He didn't leave, right? Mum goes, he thinks he's a gangster. I don't know. Wants to sell drugs. I went, okay. So I went, think you're a gangster, yeah? Want to sell drugs? I said, you'll get nicked and go to prison. He went, well, I just sell drugs in prison, innit? I went, bruv, real talk. I went, bruv, if I saw you in jail and you were selling drugs, I said, I'd rob you myself. In front of the police officer and the social worker. His head came up a little bit like that. Oh, okay. This boy's built like this, right? It's 14. This is a gangster. So well, that's a nice tracksuit you got on there. It's about 170's worth, isn't it? He went, yeah. I said, who got you that then? He went, my mum. You know what I said to him? I went, real gangsters buy their own tracksuits, bruv. Your mum bought you that. What about your trainers? They're nice. Who got you those? Oh, don't tell me. Your mum. And you know what I'm going to say to you, don't you? Real gangsters buy their own trainers. You're going out, causing antisocial behaviour, bringing police back to your parents' house while your mum goes to work, provides a roof over your head, buys you clothes, makes you dinner, probably makes you bed. Yeah? And you're going on like you're a gangster. No. If you want to go out and go on like a gangster, get your own place. And then you know what it feels like. So I went, that's it, mum. I don't need a decision now. Like, if he wants to come on it, if he can. If he doesn't, I'm not bothered. I said, mum, just call me in an hour or something like that. Within 40 minutes, your mum called me back, oh yeah, he wants to come onto your programme. Well, yeah, that's fine. And I turned him around. Purely because of real talk. You won't get that from police, you won't get that from his parents, you won't get that from teachers. You'll get that from a roadman. You're 14. Fix up. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, fix up, bro. 14 going on 30. No, I don't think so. And if you don't like what your mum's dealing with, move out.
Mm.
Go and pay your own rent. And your council tax and your water bill and electric. Go on. Go on. Oh, yeah, well, no food yet, have you? Yeah, crack on. Where are you going to get the money from? How are you going to get a job? So I had to work with him really, really closely, and his mum, really, really closely for a good few months on just teaching him some skills and affirming this young person. All he was lacking was affirmation.
Mm.
So something as simple as he would come into the building, I'll look at my watch and go, nice, on time, boom, love that. Affirmation, his face got bright red and not used to it, he's used to that.
Yeah.
That's what he's used to all the time. And he's going to resent you for that. He's going to rebel. So when I come in, I go, yeah man, you're looking sharp today, love that, boom, fist bump. My man's relaxed straight away.
Mm.
What can we do today? Goes, oh, I want to look at some coaching. Like, yep, sweet, we can do that. I'm like, get on the internet. And we can, I said, want to play some music? Yeah, put your phone on, man, play some music. Play whatever you want. Play whatever you want. Just keep it down, that kind of thing. And got him.
Yeah.
You know, he's playing his favourite tunes, he's looking at what he wants to do. I speak the language.
Yeah.
And all I need to do is to get this young person, when he walks out the door, is to be looking forward to seeing me the following week. Yeah?
Big. Mm.
Don't even have to phone him up, he'll be phoning me. Yeah, what time's my appointment?
Mm.
Yeah. And again, it's those three things that I instilled in my daughter that I instill in young people. Be honest, respectful, and communicate. That's all I'm asking of you. You get the same from me. If you can't make the appointment, just let me know. I'll just make another one. I'm not going to tell you off. But if they become too regular, I might go, I'm not going to tell you off. Because this is your thing. Not mine, this is yours. Yeah, and it works, quite successful at it. But then funding and all that, and then...
No, I get it.
So, as he turned up today, I was talking to a school this morning. He wanted to come in and do some big work in Southampton, workshops and one-to-ones with some of their young people there. Young people are high on the police radar around gang behaviour. So I'm looking at that.
Nice.
I'm looking at going to schools and delivering presentations. It's just, they're quite fun, but my presentations are not just, they're quite fun. I make them fun. Let them know that I speak the language. I don't stick it on them, I don't make them feel uncomfortable. And it's, I just make my stories quite fun, and it gives them something to think about when they leave. And then, as you know, I won the Football Blacklist Award. I use that a lot in my presentations, just to show them that when you come from nothing, you can still achieve something. And this is what I've achieved. So I'm up there with Marcus Rashford, I'm up there with Saka from Arsenal, I'm up there with Ian Wright, Rio Ferdinand, Raheem Sterling, I'm up there. I'm on the Premier League Wall of Honour. My name is on there as a Blacklist Award winner for the work that I've done in the community and in grassroots football. Only man of colour to have won it in Hampshire.
Congrats.
I use that a lot, and when young people go, wow, I said, yeah, it's something you can work towards. Might not be this award, but if you put enough energy into what you're doing, but you have to like what you're doing.
Yeah.
Do you?
It's important.
Yeah. If you don't like it, there's no point in doing it. You have to like what you're doing, and I'm passionate about what I'm doing.
That's what matters, man. That's what matters. Well, no, man, I'm excited to see it. And, well, no, thank you for opening up today and telling me your story, man. I'm excited to see what comes next.
I'm writing a book also.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm writing a book. So I'm in my third edit. I just done the Belmarsh story, and that's quite a big chapter. Not sure when the edit's going to be finished because I've got quite a few chapters to go through. So I meet my publisher once a week. But yeah, I'm writing a book, so it'll be called, I'm hoping it'll be called A Real G.
Real G.
Yeah. And I'll let you know once it comes out.
I'll be excited when that does.
Give a signed copy of it.
Yeah. No, man, we have to resume this chat sometime in the future, man. There's so much. There is so much.
Yeah.
That'd be great, man. But yeah, cool. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. No, thank you too.
And yeah, man, let's do this.